Some board manufacturers coat their boards with a paint or a UV protective coating that's thin, but it's still on the very outside of the board. When sticking down the foil mount, it's important to get the foil mount to stick to the base material of the board, not that surface protective layer. We're going to take you through this specialized installation on an old race board from Cabrini. First thing you'll need is some 220 grit sandpaper, a light soap solution, the included set of alcohol wipes, and the included ScotchBrite pad. So we're going to measure and mark where we want to put our foil mount on the board. It's important to do that to make sure it's in the right spot. We have our 220 grit sandpaper here. We're going to do a light sand through that layer, UV protective layer or paint layer. Keep in mind it's usually just one layer, so it's very thin. You don't have to get crazy and sand through the base. We just want to get through that thin layer into the base material of the board. All Starboard SUPs and surfboards have a UV protective coating, so this is the recommended installation technique for all of their boards. Next is a wipe down to get rid of all of the excess dirt, grit, and sanding dust. You can kind of blow it off like I did first. And then a light mixture of soap and water to just wipe down the area and then dry it with a paper towel. If you're unsure if your board has a UV protective layer or a paint layer, this is always a safe technique to make sure you get a great install with your foil mount the first time. Next, we're going to take the first set of wipes out of the package. You can see we have 4 sets of wipes. We're going to take 2 of those, half of them. We're going to wipe down the area. Next, we're going to remove the included ScotchBrite pad and lightly abrade the surface. This isn't a sanding technique. You're just taking the ScotchBrite pad and you're removing any loose pieces of sanded material or fingerprints, whatever, off the surface. You're just lightly rubbing it along the surface. The final step before sticking the plate for good is to take the second set of wipes out and finish alcoholing the surface to get rid of all loose debris. So we're ready to stick. We're going to take the cellophane off the foil mount. We're going to make sure the hardware is in the slot before we stick down. First, we need to take the backing off the VHB tape. Best way is to use a knife on a corner. You can kind of pop up the corner of that backing and then peel it all the way off with your hands. Keep in mind you do not want to touch that VHB tape. The oil in your hands will negatively affect the adhesive. So we're going to peel that back and then we're going to line it up on the box we made with the masking tape. And then just slowly make sure everything's lined up, stick one edge, and then slide that plate all the way on until it's firmly affixed in place. A very important step in the installation process is the last step, which is applying pressure to the plate once it's installed. 3M recommends 15 psi for just a few seconds after install. So you can see I'm kind of pushing down with my hands. The best way to do this is to get up on your feet or your toes and apply as much pressure as you can to each area of the plate, one part at a time. Keep in mind this just has to be done for a few seconds. Don't leave it in a vise overnight. Now just wait 24 hours and your new foil mount is perfectly installed.